Hi guys, merginator here, hope you're well, and today we're in for a bit of a treat. There is a race between me, Cornwolf and Merginator. Well, we've done many races, but this is one that I decided to pick out as a good example of different lines, different ways of battling, and different ways of handling exactly the same car with the same chain. So here you find us at Monza, going into turn 1, and if you look, this guys is how you take turn 1. We're not giving each other space here for video's sake, we're giving each other space here because that's how we race. Now all three of us have taken part in league races, and that does obviously lend itself to giving you better racecraft. So that's something I can highly suggest you guys go get yourselves involved in. We usually race in the DOR, but also in the Tourer and the ORL races. This particular car is tuned by GTR Warwick, and it's not great on the wheel. You guys know that I'm a wheel user. Cornwolf is also a wheel user, and you can see him there pulling away from us because me and Merginator are battling hard. You can see me not overly defending, but making sure I'm sticking my car in a position that he can't get the best run from an apex. So as we come on to the back end of Monza, we've dropped back a little bit from Cornwolf, and keep an eye on his box up there in the corner, because you'll see why we catch him, because we all take different lines through here. As we come into the heavy braking zone off the straight into the tight chicane, me and Merginator here managed to go through quite nicely, but we drift out a little bit wider. I used more of the curb than what Cornwolf did, and you can see Merginator tucked right in on my draft there, looking to come into, I think this is called the Parabolica, and so yeah, he's right on my tail as we come into it. I brake a little bit earlier than I would usually, drifted a little bit wider out than I would normally like, and that has opened it up for Merginator. He makes a move down the inside, as you see here. Now we've got this long start-finish straight, so all you can really do is try and tuck in behind Merginator. Me and him do share ultimately the same pace in many different cars. He'll be stronger in some than I will, and vice versa. So as we come into turn 1 again, watch, under braking, plenty of room, plenty of respect given, not again because of this video, but because we are racing. We actually did about, I think, 6 different races, and it was down to us to pick what race we were going to use. So guys, at the end of this video, well actually I might chuck a card up there in the corner as well, go check their videos out, because there are multiple videos of us guys racing, and they're going to pick out different things than I am. So now we come into this tight left and right chicane. I take quite a bit of curb because I got a bit deep there, but I mean, what can you do? You can't really do much else. So that is not the ultimate line that I would have liked to have taken there, because it did sacrifice my exit. I would have much preferred to get in and sort of clip the apex as opposed to climb my car all over it. So we've managed to claw quite a bit of time in on Cornwolf here. We're now catching up quite rapidly, and that's going to have been down to him earlier braking, because you see he brakes a little bit earlier than most of us. As we come into this, and he takes quite a shallow line, whereas me and Merginator take a bit more of an aggressive line through there. And now I'm all over the back of Cornwolf as we've got this long drag down, and Merginator's tucked in behind me as well. There's not a lot of time in this at all, and these Ferraris are flat out. Now this move here I want to pick out for Cornwolf, because you wouldn't know about things he could do to make himself rank higher up. So this overtaking manoeuvre here, as I came in, I was effectively in control of the racing line. I had 2/3 of my car up. If he had backed off the accelerator, just blipped it and then accelerated again, he would have been able to take the inside line coming out of the Parabolica like Merginator did, and he would have been able to gain that position back. So that's just a heads up for you there, Cornwolf. Something that I noticed while we were racing is you didn't necessarily adapt to people outbraking you and going in. You can always do the cutback if you time it correctly, and there you lose a little bit of time on the exit there as well, spinning up the back wheels. None of us using traction control in this race, ladies and gentlemen, and it was a race right down to the end. It really was, so make sure you stick around to the end. As we were coming down towards the chicane again, I've managed to drag a bit of time out of these guys. Merginator has obviously made the move on Cornwolf there, and that is the better line. As you see, I get a much better drive off the apex of the second apex of the chicane there, and we're hammering our way down these two sweeping bends. Now, I'm not a fan of these. I always find that this one in particular, I can never gauge, especially with this car, where I need to be putting the car to get best traction. And I always seem to run a little bit wide, as you saw there. I think merginator did it as well. I didn't check on his box, but I'll watch him through that next route. So as I come under the bridge, there is literally about 3 seconds between us there as we come under. And cornwolf misses the apex there, gets the apex on the next one and the next one, and gets a good drive. But the missing the apex of the first heavy braking zone was what cost him there. As merginator tries to make a move around the outside, a squeeze. Merginator does the thing that cornwolf needed to do, which was back out, and look, he gets the inside line. But I defend hard, and I managed to close down his acceleration. So although he got the inside line, because I'd made a adjustment to my line mid-corner, he could not then put his foot 100% down. So that then compromised his exit, which meant coming down the start finish straight to here. He always had a little lock up, clips into the back of me. I ease off the accelerator, roll through. There was really hardly any contact there, but there was contact made. Cornwolf again lighting his back tyres up and losing time when doing so. So just off of that corner there, cornwolf, you're losing a lot of time. Just let the car go wide and then ease the accelerator on, buddy. Ease the accelerator on. As I said again, guys, there are going to be different races from different perspectives on these other YouTubers' channels. This is the battle of the young YouTubers. When I say young, I don't mean I'm young, but I mean that we are small, growing YouTube channels. So make sure you go subscribe to these guys as well. So you can just see how much time we have dropped cornwolf by there, just from that little incident. And I go quite wide there, and luckily enough I rolled into a braking zone, so I didn't lose out too much. But getting on the gravel definitely cost me there. But just cornwolf going a little bit too deep, probably a little bit too aggressive on the throttle, meant that he lost a hell of a lot of time coming out of the chicane at Monza. And there you go, sliding those cars through that apex. That's it, lovely one there for cornwolf. Definitely got the apex there. And we come out down this straight. I went a little bit wide. As I said, this car is quite difficult to drive. If you guys want to try this car, it is actually available for download. So look up GTR Warwick and this Ferrari 360 Stradale challenge, I believe it is. And cornwolf going very deep at the parabolica there, very deep. So I think what happens is, and it's myself included, when you're pushing hard, you try and extend your braking zones. You try and go in a little bit deeper than you normally would. And what that's done there is he's just extended it just slightly too much, just a little bit too much, and that has cost him ultimately. Look at the difference in lines coming down the straight. Merginator's right over to the left. I've got plenty more space, but I take a different line than Merginator through there, and I go a little bit wide. Again, cornwolf lights up his tyres. Be a bit more gentle on the accelerator, buddy. Be a little bit more gentle. So again, we're coming down into the chicane once more. And sorry, I just lost my mind for a moment there. Into the chicane. Let's watch the line. So Merginator managed to clip both apexes. Lovely. I follow suit, and cornwolf goes deep, trying to take too much speed in. So I think what I'm getting from this, and don't feel viewers at home that I'm criticising cornwolf here, he asked to be critiqued. What I'm getting from this is you're pushing just a little bit too hard. I think if you didn't push quite as hard, you used a little bit more of the track, as in you could be, if you've got that green bit after, as long as it's Forza clean, you should be good. So if you've got that green bit after the curb, you should be able to put most of your car on the curb. Let's see how you come through this. So me and Merginator come through pretty similar. Merginator gets a little bit of a sideways action. I get a little bit of sideways action, trying to avoid going into the back of him. Makes me go a bit wide. And cornwolf actually does a really good job through that sector there. I think that was probably your strongest sector, cornwolf, definitely. I really enjoyed this race, and I enjoyed every race after. If this is something you guys want to watch and see us critique each other, let us know on each channel. Leave a like and just say more. That's all we want. Each channel, leave a like in the comments, say more, and we will do more between us. It doesn't get done weekly because we are dotted all over the world, but we'll do our best. And as you can see, it ended up being a 1, 2, 3, as in merginator as a winner, I was second, and cornwolf was third. I've been Muddy Gamer. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe on all 3 of your YouTubers up there, and take care. I shall see you soon.